Senator for the 8th District. That includes the Central Valley here. Andreas Borgeas is here. Congratulations on your little break from Sacramento, by the way.
I'm looking forward to spending more time with the family for certain.
Yeah, but boy, was it explosive to end the last session. Let's start with something that happened this week. AB5 now signed into law. There's a lot of Uber, Lyft drivers, independent contractors that are watching this show right now saying, yes, what happens next? What happens next? Does this mean they can't pick and choose when they want to work, pick and choose if they want to work for both companies? What does this mean for independent contractors and the gig economy here in California? It
has huge implications, the likes of which I don't think we are fully appreciating at this point. Just so your viewers can appreciate, AB5 basically was a union-drafted bill that would disallow independent contractors enforceably convert employees into employee status.
Right.
Now imagine in a gig economy as has developed over the decades, what that would mean for hairstylists, realtors, delivery people,
taxi drivers,
Lyft. So this is a huge union-backed initiative that is trying to convert the entire California workplace into employee status with all the benefits and overhead costs that go along with having that full benefited package workforce.
But after it's now signed, what does that really mean? Again, does that mean that they can't work the hours that they want to work, and that if they have to have benefits and wages and all this other stuff that Uber and Lyft are going to have to mandate to, don't you think they're going to go to court over this?
Absolutely, and I think we've already heard that Uber and Lyft collectively have put $90 million into a campaign account to put this issue before the voters in the next election cycle. Not to mention the litigation that will likely come of this. This was probably one of the most haphazard pieces of legislation that I've ever seen, because if you had the financial wherewithal as an industry to hire fancy lobbyists, you got a carve-out. And there have been a number of carve-outs, but for the vast majority of industries in California that weren't politically savvy or wealthy enough to afford it, they didn't get carved out. So imagine, you know, you've got winners and losers that the legislature picked, and this is going to be devastating to our gig economy.
Want to move on to this because it was there was a lot of drama on the last day. We know that. We're going to try to get to all of it. Yes, the vaccine bill also wavered now. Governor Newsom wavered on the vaccine bill. He says it was good to go. You know, a lot of the Democrats obviously pushed it all through in both the Assembly and the Senate. And now he says, no, we got to go back to the table because the implementation of it is not clear and concise.
Well,
is he losing some of the Democratic lawmakers here?
I think my understanding is that Senator Pan out of Sacramento, being the author of this legislation, was given the green light initially, and then there was a yellow light by the governor's office. There were some amendments that were put into place, but the big issue that I think a lot of Republicans and even some Democrats expressed was that why would you have the medical exemptions reviewed by the State Board of Health when it should be the medical board that is overseeing the doctors giving these exemptions? And that was, I think, part of the big rub, at least from my standpoint, that was a big rub. Not even getting to the vaccination issue.
And you voted?
I voted against it because I specifically asked Senator Pan to accept the amendment that this be put into the jurisdiction of the medical board, which has authority over doctors. State Board of Health does not. It was badly crafted, in my opinion.
Let's move on to a couple of things here. One, President Trump coming into California this week. Actually, one of his focuses was not only to raise a lot of money for his campaign, but he talked about homelessness. He said that he wants to come up with something, mainly a task force, to try to tackle the homeless problem in San Francisco, LA. Hopefully that includes the Central Valley. One, do you believe that, or is that posturing, political posturing here, knowing that that's a big centered issue? And Governor Newsom doesn't seem to buy it. Well, or are you buying it?
I think there's no love lost between Governor Newsom and President Trump.
But are you buying this?
What I think should be done is that serious people should be addressing this as a serious matter. I don't think that has actually occurred for obvious reasons, because we're seeing the homelessness at a record level. So whether it's Governor Newsom or President Trump, I would like to see some bona fide proposals that actually can gain traction and be implemented to achieve results. And so far, we haven't seen that.
So, but do you believe that President Trump is serious about this, or was just I'm going to go up and down the state and tell them what they want to hear?
You know what? We know in a political environment that things are said, and this may not be different. I don't think that the epicenters of population in California, New York, and Washington, D.C., all of which tend to be Democrat-controlled areas, this sounds as if it may have some posturing element in it. But at the end of the day, we live in California. We want to see homelessness addressed by serious people with serious solutions, and we just haven't seen it yet.
All right. We got a lot more to come with you.
By all
We're
means.
going to do this on Sunday Morning Matters Extra on yourcentralvalley.com. Thank you for coming in, as always, State Senator Andreas Borgeas.